Ladies and gentlemen, Tyler Shuman. What's going on? Boom, boom, boom. Everybody say hey. I like you guys. I can tell this is going to work. We're going to get along great. We're going to be friends. Best of friends. You know, I'm saying this, it's happening. You guys clapped, but the thing is, I don't even know why you clapped, because you don't have any idea who I am. So you don't even know if you were supposed to clap or not. I could be up here for anything. I mean, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I'm actually not here for a stand-up comedy show. I'm actually a public speaker to talk to you, boys and girls, about the joys of letting Jesus Christ into your life. Have you accepted Jesus Christ so you don't make the mistakes during college? One guy in the back just went out the door. He's like, fuck that, I'm out of here. Right out the back door in the corner. Alright, well, before anybody else leaves, I'm actually here to do... That's the second goddamn time I tripped over that fucking thing. I am here to tell jokes to your faces. A lot of other body parts don't seem to respond to it much. Except some people's crotches that I know. In that case, if you do have a similar reaction, what we do is just raise your hand. Somebody will hopefully escort you to the bathroom where you can take care of that problem. So, it's when I knew that I was coming here, though, I texted all my friends and I said, hey, I'm doing a show. I'm doing a comedy show at the University of Sciences. I'm doing an hour show. You should come and check it out. Texted all my friends, so I'm like, oh, cool, man. Oh, sorry, I can't make it. Oh, man, good luck. But then my really good friend Joe, that I've known since I was a little kid, he just texted me back, will there be bitches? What does that mean? Will there be like, that's all he said, will there be bitches? Like, he just thinks I'm going to be up here doing my thing and there's going to be girls behind the desk just going like this the whole time. And what is he talking about? I don't know. Are there any bitches in here? No? Joe, go talk to her. Whoever the hell called out. That's what I'm here for. Yeah, but me and my friend Joe, we go way back. We've known each other for a long time. I'm not exactly sure how, but we knew each other when we were little kids. And when we grew up on the same block together. And when we were little kids, we never really got into any trouble like normal little kids did, because we were spoiled and sheltered by our parents and everything like that. So, the one day, me and him, I remember, we went outside. We were playing with our super soakers. I don't know if you guys ever had a super soaker when you were younger. Yeah. One guy. I think that was my friend in grade school, whatever. But, we ended up going out the one day, and we were pretending that we were cops, just like going around and, shooting water at squirrels and throwing rocks at people. You know how cops do. So we ended up, we were pretending we were cops, we were running around, and then we see this guy, right? And this guy rolls up. He doesn't walk up, he rolled up. Let me explain. This guy wearing a mesh shirt, pink short shorts, and a mustache rolled up on a hover-round scooter, okay? He was wearing a mesh shirt, a mustache, I hope he wasn't wearing a mustache. I think it was real. If he was wearing it, it would have been way more creepier than it was. But this guy, mesh shirt, mustache, rolling up on a hover-round scooter. And he rolls up to us and we just jump out, we're like, freeze! And he's, oh my God, ooh. Like how adults have to act, impressed and excited that some kid's doing something. Like, you could do anything as a kid and just be like, pick your nose, like, hey, look at this. I'm like, wow! Look at you! He's just like, so freeze and whoo! And then, he's sitting in a scooter and we're probably like, about, 6-7 feet away from the guy. And I remember that after we said, freeze, and we said to him, we're like, do you have any weapons on you? And then I'll never forget what happened after that. I remember the guy, he's sitting in his hover around like this, right? Now the problem is he's sitting exactly like this with his legs spread. Now I don't know if you wear short shorts by any means, but if you're wearing short shorts, when you sit instead of this, when you sit like this, you lose like 9 inches of material. Okay? So he's sitting like this in his hover around, and we're like, do you have any weapons? And he goes, well, I don't know, let me check. And then, out of nowhere, just... Nothing left to the imagination. Like, things I wasn't supposed to learn for at least 3 more years got implemented into my brain right then and there. And I had to learn how to deal with them. Like, I was not ready for this at all. And the worst part was, like after that, you know, right, the whole thing just said, oh, let me check. And then out of nowhere, me and my friend look at each other out, like, stunned. We didn't even know what happened. And then I'll never forget it. He just goes, he puts it away and goes, nope. And then he just rolled away. Just completely rolled away. And I'll remember, like, me and him, my friend Joe, we ran home. Like, what were we supposed to do? We had to go home, and I know that what I saw, like, I wasn't sure what I saw, but I know it wasn't good. So I had to convey to my parents the best way a 6-year-old can convey that some guy just flashed him on a hover-round scooter wearing a mesh shirt and a mustache. Like, how believable does that sound? And the worst part was that, you know, they freaked out. We went to the police station, you know, and then I'm just sitting there, like, after like 3 hours, I'm sitting there and they bring in this sulky-looking, you know, police officer, detective, or whatever, and he was like interrogating me and asking me questions, and I'm 6 years old, and he just, okay, son, now listen, man. Okay, I know you've been through a very traumatic experience, right, and I understand, but I need you to listen, and I need you to answer these questions as truthfully as possible. What did his balls look like? Like, I'm 6 years old. The biggest problem that I had before then was, what toy am I going to play with tomorrow? But now I got to ask, what does his balls look like? Like, it's ridiculous. So needless to say, I came out of my shell way sooner than expected. But, I don't know. I find it ironic that I'm here at college telling jokes when I didn't even go to college. Somebody's got their priorities all straightened up, don't they? That's awesome. Yeah, but how does it feel only having one textbook and being broke already, huh? Because I don't miss that at all. Definitely not. Well, I mean, poor in one textbook. Maybe you have like poor in like 1.5 textbooks. The other half coming from maybe a half that you found in the trash that somebody just ripped in half out of anger from last semester. Or maybe the other half you got at a used bookstore that somebody traded in because they were burning it out of celebration at the end of last year. Like, oh, fuck this school! Wait. You could trade these in? I spent $300 on these? I could trade them in? Oh, God! Stopping it out, and they trade it in, and then what do they get for it? $30. Ooh! That's awesome. Now, like, I mean, I'm not good at math, okay? All right, I can't math, all right? I don't numbers, all right? It's just not who I am, all right? But to me, in my humble opinion, when you only get $30 back for a book that you paid $300 on for a math class, that's a slap in the face, okay? That's awful. It makes you miss high school, it really does. Except for me, I hated high school. It was awful for me. Because I would always fall asleep in class, which, I mean, wasn't a bad thing. Everybody in high school, you know, you all fell asleep in class, I'm sure. Because as a high school student, when you got woken up early to go to class, your desk, when you would lean on it and sleep on your books like this, it felt like a Sealy Posturepedic mattress. Am I right? It was awesome. It was heaven. Those 45 minutes or whatever that you got to sleep in class and not pay attention to a word the teacher said was awesome. But the one day, like the problem was that every day that I would sleep, though, you know, I would always get woken up. Not by a good friend. Everybody had asshole friends in high school, let's be honest. I got woken up by the bell to change classes. That was the whole thing. And the thing in my school was the bell, you know, it wasn't very subtle. It was loud. So it would wake you up. But it wasn't like any wake up where it's like, time to go to class. No, it wasn't anything like that. It was like I was getting, like an exorcism was coming out of my chest right then and there. It was terrible, you know. But then the one day I'm in class, and the bell goes off, and I'm sleeping with my head on the top of the desk, and I don't wake up. It's the only day, I don't know what happened, but I didn't wake up. You know, the bell rang, everybody got up, they changed classes. I slept through the entire time everybody changed classes. I slept through everybody coming into the classroom. I even slept through the second bell to confirm that there were new classes going on. And then all I remember is 15 minutes later, I woke up, and there's just an entirely different room of people just staring at me. And I thought I was still dreaming. So I got up and I punched my teacher in the face. Maybe I don't jump to conclusions next time. Maybe I'll try flying first, see if I'm awake. That should probably tell me right off the bat. In high school, I had a guidance counselor that told me that I should keep a journal to channel my intolerance. And I ended up doing that, but I only made one passage in it. Dear diary, this is pretty gay. Love, Tyler. Yeah. You know, I always get in fights in school. That was a problem with me in high school. I would always get into fights. This should not be being held like this at all. Yeah, so anyway, I ended up getting into a lot of fights in high school, and that was a problem for me. But the problem was I was a lover and a fighter. So if I ever got in a fight with you and I choked you out, you better believe I would nibble on your ear. Shh. I'll carry you to history class, don't worry. Yeah, grade school sucked. I guess just for me. Grade school sucks because the problem with grade school, like, to me, was, see, in grade school, what grade school is, it's not just, not just the easiest years of your life. Grade school is actually very difficult, but nobody seems to understand that until too late in life. What grade school is it's a foundation for your entire social career up until high school, sometimes even to college. Like, anything you did wrong, if you didn't have a solid foundation in grade school, if you had any holes in it, if anything you did that was out of context, or somebody saw you do something you probably weren't supposed to be doing, you were fucked for the entire time left in grade school. Because everybody heard about it. That was the worst part. And I'll never forget the one day in 5th grade, I'm with my best friend at the time, and me and him are hanging out in the hallway. It's in between, we were getting done recess, going into the classroom. And me and him were standing on the hallway with a bunch of the other kids from the class, waiting to go in. And then he, pushes me aside jokingly, like, oh, get out of the way. And then I get up in his face, like, jokingly, like, oh, what do you want? And then I accidentally kissed him on the lips. And everybody saw it. So, grade school sucked. Terrible. Oh, I'm so thirsty. I always wanted to do a show with one of those Bruce Buffer style microphones that come down from the ceiling and I hold it like this, like, hey, how are you? Love that guy right there. Awesome. See, when I was in grade school, though, I got made fun of a lot for my name, because my name is Tyler Shuman. And a lot of people would just tell me, since my name is Tyler Shuman, that my name was nothing but just 2 different occupations. A Tyler and a shoeman. That was original, right? Except then, people started to make fun of me for my name because it sounded a lot like Tiger Shulman from Tiger Shulman's Karate. But no one ever beat me up for it. So. Hi.
Hello.
What's your name?
Haley.
Haley?
Yeah.
Haley, I'm Tyler. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm awesome. I wanted to ask you, do you think I'm tall?
Yes.
You do? Okay, I just wanted to say I hate you so much right now, okay? Okay? I'm up here telling jokes, trying to entertain your classmates. I'm tall, we get it. You don't have to bring it up out of nowhere. Okay? No, but, a lot of people, notice that I'm tall. They even stop me on the street like, oh my God, you're that tall guy! Like they had never seen anybody taller than them before. Like I'm a celebrity or something. And people try to give me compliments, I guess you can call them, that I'm tall. Like people will see me and be like, wow man, you're tall as shit. It's nice to be compared to a 6'5" tall stack of shit. How's that supposed to make me feel good? I'm just constantly being insulted as I walk down the street every day. It's awful. I hate it. The second question I always get, it's always the same follow-up. They always ask how tall are you, and then they say, oh, do you play basketball? And I just really wanted to just cut out the middleman and stop wasting our time. I really just want to invest in a t-shirt that's all black, white text that says 6'5" and no. It would save so much time for both parties. But I started to figure out, I did a little research and I asked around, and it turns out that the perfect reaction, I know the perfect response for somebody when they say that to me next time, and I have it cocked, ready to go, is next time somebody comes to me and says, wow, you're tall, do you play basketball? I'm going to say, no, I don't. Do you play miniature golf? Works like a charm. I sit down and I just relax at my house, and I really start to think every day, I start to think that my mom is a huge slut. Hold on, I don't have any proof, but every person I play on Xbox Live says they fucked her. And the worst part is they sound like they're 11 years old. It makes it even more creepy. Like, I'm playing them and I get done the game and I win, and I'm just like, oh, I got you, good game, guys. They're like, yeah, well, your mom's sucking my dick. Yeah, that's a rational reaction, isn't it? Yeah, I freak out. I run downstairs thinking she's cooking dinner. She's actually in the kitchen cooking dinner. I'm like, how the fuck does she do that? She is a crafty whore. I gotta recommend, though, for guys, take my advice, personal experience, okay? Make sure that if you're in a relationship, make sure that you last longer in the bedroom than you do during a round of Call of Duty. Personal experience. Maybe you had to be there. I don't know. Alright, well. One guy, see that? One guy, that's all I needed. You guys, the rest can leave, it's okay. Just me and you now, sir. No. My internet did get cut out, though, recently because I forgot to pay the bill. Which sucks, because now I can never talk to my girlfriend again. She's not real. Oh, I gotcha. Okay. I think I would make a great dad because I'm really, really good at The Sims. Seriously, I am. It's incredible. Every single time I play, I always end up as being like a ninja, astronaut, billionaire superhero. It's awesome. All my kids always grow up to be pop stars. I'm perfect at it. Coincidentally, you know who's the worst player in the world at The Sims? God. Yeah. No, hold on tight. All right. I have a reason for this, because sometimes I really feel like that he is. Because I feel like he doesn't wake up and log in and take care of us like he's supposed to all the time. Mainly because there's some days I just wake up in a haze, there's dirty plates all over the floor that I can't seem to walk around, and there's a pile of shit in the corner. And who's going to clean that up? I don't know. It's funny. I don't know if you guys ever heard of this, like analogies or expressions, like for kids. Like, for example, like if a kid ever looks out the window, I heard my little cousin say this to my grandma before. My little cousin looked out the window and saw it was raining out. She says, my little cousin said to my grandma, she's like, Grandma, why is it raining out? And my grandma just looks out the window and says, oh, that's because God is crying. God's sad. Like, that's the analogy that she used for it. And, I heard that, and I really wanted to put myself in her shoes, and I really wanted to teach, analogies and push my own beliefs on my kids someday when I have them. So what I'm going to do is when I go outside with my son, my daughter, whomever, whatever gender, and we're outside, say we look up in the sky, and those airplanes that go by and they leave the white trail of smoke that dissipates after it flies a little bit? A kid's going to look up and it's going to say, Daddy, Daddy, what's that? And I'm going to say, that's God doing cocaine. I'll give you all the time you need. God makes it snow. He loves to make it snow, doesn't he? And I love the snow too, because that means that Christmas is right on the corner, my favorite holiday. The only problem that I hate about Christmas, the only thing I don't like, is the goddamn Christmas carolers. Okay? Except this year, I'm ahead of them. I'm like 3 steps ahead of them. It's insane. I thought it's an awesome idea. I trust me, you guys should try this on yourself. What you do is every time there's a knock on the door and it's like a blizzard out, I'm always going to make sure, I'm going to be cautious. I'm going to look at the window, see there's a group of carolers sitting out the window. And then I'm going to swing the door open and I'm going to start singing before they do. And then I'm going to finish my song. And then when I'm done, I'm going to hold out my hand for $5. And then we're going to take it and shut the door. Why should I have to get up at early 7 a.m. in a blizzard and go sing to you? You come to me. I'm a better singer than all you combined anyway. It would be awesome. I would mix it up. I do rap. I do pop. All that stuff. But the problem is, like, even if I did rap, say, I assume it would be better than most of the crap that you hear nowadays with rap. I mean, rap today sucks, but it's awesome. It's so goddamn catchy. Like, you don't even know. That's the best song ever. I mean, who could argue? But, the one thing that nobody else but me that I know seems to notice is that there's one big flaw with rap nowadays, like modern rap, that nobody notices. And there's one big flaw is that if you really think about it, if you really just barrel it down, water it down and think about it, all rap is nowadays is it's just people who brag about being rich because we like to hear how rich they are. This guy again. There's always one. Seriously, if you think about that, it's a mind fuck. Rappers are rich because we like to hear how rich they are. We go buy their albums, all their songs was, look how rich I am. And we're like, yeah, man, that's dope as shit, he's totally right. I like this guy. It's crazy. I thought of a brilliant rap lyric myself. The only problem is that I have to think of another 3.5 minutes to wrap around that one lyric so I can make my money, but for the time being, this is all I have. I'm banging with this chick. Her name is Chanel. Her body's so kickin', I call her Sensei Chanel. Hey, if you don't like that, go to the liquor store and stare at the shelves. That's where I get all my ideas for rap lyrics. That's all you have to do. I don't know. It's funny. Every time I go out, I like to meet new people. Every time I'm out, I like to go out with my friends, go to the bar, dance around, meet new people. It's like my favorite thing to do. But the thing is, whenever I meet new people, they always ask, that inevitable question, what do you do? What do you do? What's your job? And what I always say, when I meet people is I just say, I'm a comedian. Because personally to me, saying I'm a comedian sounds a little bit better than unemployed. Even though they're virtually the exact same thing. And then every time, there's always the inevitable question that follows every single time that I tell somebody. It's always a girl, too, that does this. And it's never a girl I want to date, because I can just tell by the reactions. I always just say, I'm a comedian, and then they go, oh my God, you have to tell me a joke. And I always just respond the same way. It's my day off. Okay? Now, I wouldn't ask you to suck my dick on your day off now, would I? Because that would be rude. Yeah, she gets sad, then she starts crying. But how do you tell somebody that they're a really, really, really ugly looking crier without making it worse? You can't. It's impossible. That's what you gotta do though when you meet new people, When I go out to the bars with my friends, my favorite thing to do is to dance. I love to dance. I'm big on dancing. I've been doing it for the past few years. I got pretty good at it. I'm actually 19-0-1 in dance battles at the bar. And one tie is with another white guy, go figure. All right, 19-0-1, and I love doing it. But the thing is, as a white guy, you know for a fact that you're good and that you've made it at dancing when you beat an Asian in a dance battle, and there's black guys on the side cheering you on. Seriously, like I'm doing my thing, and then they just look over, I see two Jews just... Great. When I bring my friends out though, I have a couple friends, like my one friend, my really good friend Wes, and he's not really good with girls. He's pretty bad at it actually. So I try to take him under my wing. I mean, I'm not an expert myself, but I try to tell him just basic things like, be yourself, just say whatever's on your mind, just go talk. The more you wait, the worse it's gonna get. So he finally, at the bar, he sees this girl across the bar, standing at the bar by herself, nobody around, right, holding a drink. And he points her out and I say, dude, go talk to her. Say the first thing that's on your mind, okay? Right? So he finally, after all the weeks of me trying to get him to, he finally musters up the courage. He walks over to her, right? He walks right up to her at the bar. She turns around, looks up at him, and she smiles. But then he grabs the Long Island iced tea out of her hand and then throws it in the trash. And then he says, you look like you use a drink. So I don't go out with Wes anymore. Yeah. It's not easy, you know. I mean, what I decided to try, I tried to, you know, try online dating. You know, after I realized, you know, bars might not be the best place to meet people, you know, plus if you're busy all the time, you know, school, work, whatever you got, you try online dating. It's much more convenient, you know, it cuts out, you know, kind of like a lot of the bullshit, bad people that you meet, you know. But what happened was when I finally made, you know, a free account, one of those free dating websites, I sent like tons of messages, like tons of them out, like, you know, dozens every week to, you know, to girls, and they weren't like, you know, like, hey baby, you want some fuck? They were like, well, put together like articulate messages, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I wanted to actually get to know them. But the problem was I was never getting responses back, ever. Nobody was messaging me back. And I was so confused. I had no idea why. Because, like, I'm pretty sure I had nothing rapey in my profile, okay? Like, I made sure of that ahead of time, right? So I kept sending messages out. Nobody responded. So I was like, you know what, screw this, okay? I have a feeling that guys are very, very outnumbered on these websites. Like, a huge disadvantage because the ratio is so off between guys and girls. There's way more guys, this huge influx of guys that are messaging girls. So what I decided to do was I wanted to see exactly how much traffic these female profiles get. So what I did was I made a fake female profile. I just like, well, you know, I went on there, I googled a picture of a hot girl, put that as the picture, and I put in some, you know, just some generic personality traits that I think a girl in her 20s, just made it, logged out, I left it alone. I left it alone for 12 hours, okay? I came back 12 hours later and logged in. It had 74 messages in 12 hours. And 2 of them were from me. I was like, what the fuck? This is terrible. I miss my ex, though. I really do miss my ex-girlfriend. I was in love with her because she had this really good personality trait where she was actually addicted to Twitter. So she would only speak in 140 characters or less at a time when I would talk to her. It's as awesome as you think it is, okay? Every time I just sit there watching TV, minding my business, she would come in like, oh my God, Tyler, me and Jennifer, we went to the park. Jennifer found this rock on the ground. It was shaped like a heart, and she put it in her purse, and then... Oh, it was incredible. I knew it wasn't going to work, though. I could tell because, you know, slowly started to go downhill. And one of the first things I noticed about it going downhill was like, you know, one night we're driving my car. She's in the passenger seat. We're driving my car, and I'm getting hungry. It's around dinner time, and I'm passing all these food stops, you know, all these restaurants and whatnot. I'm just driving, and I'm just look over at her and say, hey, babe, you know, I'm getting kind of hungry. What do you want to eat? She looked right at me and said, your cock. So that's great. But what the fuck am I going to eat? Every time we want to go out to dinner, all you want to do is suck my dick. You are selfish. Jesus. I finally did break up with her, though. I finally broke up with her. The last night we were together, before we broke up, we ended up sleeping together. And after we were done sleeping together, she looked down at me and she said, I lied. I don't take birth control. I said, that's okay. I have AIDS. When I broke up with her, though, like after that happened, it was actually kind of hard. It was harder than I thought. Because, like, you know, every time you break up with a girlfriend, boyfriend, you have to do that inevitable scroll through your phone. And besides deleting the contact, you have to go through the photos, right? You have to delete all the photos that you guys had together. Because, you know, you then start looking at them, getting all sad. You don't want to do that. You don't want to go through that, you know, if it's a tough breakup. So you go through it, and I started deleting all the photos of us together. And that's when it actually hit me hard. Like, that's when I actually started getting a little choked up, deleting all the photos with us. Because I looked so good in all the photos. Oh! Like, I couldn't get my hair that way again if I tried 1,000 times. Then I have friends like, oh, but you know you could just crop her out, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, then I have a Facebook picture of me with no shoulder and half a body? Yeah, not happening. They gotta go. I found out after we broke up what I could have used and saved the relationship. I had figured out the perfect argument diffuser in the entire world. And girls, earmuffs, please. This is only for guys' ears, okay? Every time a girl gets in an argument with you, you gotta make sure of this, right? So basically just do it all the time, just to be sure. make sure at all times, guys, you keep a small kitten in your pocket. Okay? She could come at you with literally anything. She'd be like, you know what, I hate you. You are such a loser. I just... Works perfectly. I don't know. Anybody smoke pot in here? Nobody cheered, but one guy raised his hand in the back. Hit me up after the show. But sir, I just wanted to say, pot's, the guy back there, should go to rehab because you're gonna die, okay? Seriously, it's dangerous. So I've heard 1,000 times. But I smoke pot. I smoke it medicinally because I got diagnosed with Crohn's disease a couple years ago, and it's actually helped me out a lot. I don't smoke it that much, just only when I'm awake. Other than that, it's okay. Besides it being the single greatest thing on the entire planet. But, the reason I like smoking pot so much is, not because, it is fun, but I have a friend that I smoke pot with all the time, right? And his name's Muhammad, he's Muslim. But for the sake of the joke, I'm going to call him Mo, right? Now, why I love smoking with Mo is because Mo came out of a shell really late in his life, okay? So he's like really paranoid when he smokes. He's still not like completely chilled out when he does it. We'll be sitting in my car, it's like completely pitch black out, like late at night, we're hotboxing my car, windows up, and then 3 blocks away on a perpendicular street, a car, like quarter second, just drive by, and he'll go, and like he thinks every time he smokes, whether it be inside or outside of his house, he just thinks that the nearest police station 2 miles away, a cop's just gonna kick out the door like, all right, we need all units that smell some pot out here. We gotta go door to door and find it right now. Let's go. I can't knock him too much for it because for being, as paranoid as he is and kind of uptight, he's actually pretty smooth with girls. I gotta admit, I could learn a thing or two from him. He's actually really good. Because he has a couple moves that I really, really like from him. What he does is, for example, say he'll have a girl over his place and he'll be smoking with her. And then what he'll do is he'll take a hit of the blunt. This is great. He'll take a hit of the blunt or the bomb, whatever they got. He'll hold the hit into his lungs, right? And then as he's sitting next to the girl, he'll just slowly look over at her. She'll look back at him. And then he'll stare into her eyes. And then he'll lightly pull her lips closer to his, and then he coughs the smoke into her mouth. Yeah, it's really slick. I like it. Another move that I like what he does is he lives at home. So every time he smokes, he's got to be careful that his parents don't smell it. So every time he takes a hit or somebody else over his house takes a hit, he has to spray Febreze in the air like he's trying to spell his name or something. It's all like the girl, say, just for example, she'll take a hit. That's how it is, though. That's how it always is. It's funny being friends with people like that, and being paranoid and all that, weed smoking, stuff like that. But what I tended to learn from smoking so much is that I think everybody that goes to an eating contest should smoke pot beforehand. Can we all agree that that's common sense? That's what I would think, at least. It's a competition. It's like a national competition, some of those. So, you could probably get away with it. It's not like anyone would find out. It's like, look at all, say, for example, all the famous pot smokers. Michael Phelps, Barack Obama, Patrick Starr, just to name a few. All of them. And the whole thing is, though, I've learned enough to where, if I were you, be careful. A lot of people tend to smoke pot in, in playgrounds, which is fine, after hours. They sit up in the jungle gym, get high. That's the first place I smoked, I remember, which, that's totally cool. But you gotta be careful when you smoke around playgrounds during the daytime. Don't do that. Mainly because if you smoke pot around a playground in the daytime, if you're like me, you'll start to get some dangerous ideas concocted in your head. You'll like start to see things and notice things a little bit differently. Like how, for example, last week when I was at the playground and I got high and I noticed that little kids can run around anytime, any place, anywhere, just wearing a ninja outfit and nobody says anything. But it's against the social norms and everyone frowns upon me when I kick them in the face. As far as I'm concerned, if you're wearing, I don't care what age you are, if you are wearing a ninja outfit or an affliction or tap out shirt, you have an open target in your face for roundhouse kicks. That's just my opinion though. I don't know. I want to get rich enough in life to where I can have Morgan Freeman follow me around and commentate on everything I'm doing. That'd be awesome, right? Yes. Exactly. I know he's getting old. I don't care how fragile those knees are getting, but I expect him on his feet for 12 hours out of the day. Follow me. I am paying top dollar here. That's what I dream of. But if I also have some money left over, what I'd like to do is I have this idea where I want to fund my own reality TV show. Right? And I don't even like reality TV. That's the thing. I hate reality TV. But I thought of the best idea ever for a reality TV show. What I want to do is I want to use all my lottery money and I want to fund this TV show where what we do is we take people and we make them think that they're on Extreme Home Makeover. And then I bring a construction crew in and we knock down their old house. But then I tell them that they're on Punk'd. And I don't build them a new house. I think that's the greatest idea I've ever had, ever. It's funny. I have this friend named Tommy. And what Tommy does is he's a big comic book fan. But the problem with Tommy is that he's kind of cynical to where like he'll look at, say, Hollywood and he'll be like, you know what, man? Hollywood's racist. You know that? I'm like, what? What'd you say? He's like, there's no black superhero movies. There's no big Hollywood blockbuster black superhero movies. And I think that's racist, man. And I'm like, no, dude, you're just being cynical. You're crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. Come on, dude. Don't be so black and white about it. No pun intended. But I really thought about it. I did. I thought about it and I was like, he's kind of right, though. Because I really did think about it. And you gotta look, every major blockbuster, there was a lot of black superheroes in comics, but they never made them into movie adaptations. The only biggest blockbuster superhero movies they made, Spider-Man, white. Avengers, they were all white. Superman's white. Batman is now being played by Ben Affleck, he's also white. The only black superhero in Hollywood is Hancock, and Hancock's a fucking alcoholic. Everyone hates him, and he's homeless. What kind of message is that supposed to be sending? Like, what if a kid dresses up like his favorite superhero on Halloween, like, trick or treat, and you look at what the fuck? What are you supposed to be? Looks up, I'm Hancock, but he's dressed like a shithead, you know what I mean? He doesn't even carry a bag for candy, just has a little cup you put change in, you're like, there you go, okay, have a nice one. Since we've been talking for enough time, I would hope that we're on a personal enough level that I can connect to you guys, besides that guy who's passed the fuck out in his chairs. He's taking it all out. He's just thinking really hard, okay? I feel like we've been talking long enough to where I can confide in you people, if you don't mind. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. I know, it's terrible, all right? Trust me. I tried 1 year being a Cowboys and an Eagles fan. You can't do that. That's impossible. Okay, trust me. All right? Now, the problem with that whole thing is it's 2013, okay? It's the future. You remember back like 10 years ago, or even, depending how old you are, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, whatever. When people would say like, well, I can't wait till we're in the future someday, there's going to be flying cars and jetpacks and... No, this is it. Clearly we fucked a lot of shit up. But this is the future. This is as best as it's going to get for the time being. We're already here, okay? And it's 2013, and now we're just recently being more widely accepting of gay people in the community and letting them get married, which personally I think is awesome, and it took way too long to make happen, okay? But the problem with me in this whole situation is that it's 2013, it's the future. People are widely accepting of gay people now. It's like almost cool to be gay. But the problem is, I walk down the street and people know I'm a Cowboys fan, and they scream things like faggot, homo, and my favorite, cocksucker. Yeah. And I'm waiting for the time it's going to be against the wall for a blatant discrimination against my character, okay? Because I get insulted constantly when I walk down the street. People will be yelling these slurs at me, hey, faggot! The worst thing is, nobody does anything to help. They hear it and they're like, oh, it's Cowboys fan? Yeah, fuck that faggot. It's the worst. And I'm just thinking, here's to one day that Cowboys fans can get married. Seriously. You know, I ended up actually having a friend that pulled me aside. I had that debate with him, and I said to him, I talked this out, and he's like, you know, dude, come here. I'm like, what's up? He's like, do you really want to know why that, you know, people hate Cowboys fans more than gay people? Do you really want to know why it's not widely accepted in the community? I'm like, yes, why? Tell me. And he just looks right at me and he said, well, it's because gay people don't suck cock. Fuck him. Guys, you guys have been awesome. Thank you very much for coming out. My name is Shuman. Have a good night.